One of my favorite things to do in Iquitos is just walking along the waterfront, which right now there's no water, but it's still cool because up until about 30 years ago, the Amazon River flowed right down below where I am now. It's really nice to walk along here. The problem is it's just dangerous. Sunday morning, like right now, is probably the best because all the bad guys are still sleeping in after going out and partying and causing trouble last night. Down below is a section called Lower Belen. Some of the houses float, some of these a little farther down are on stilts. It is one of the poorest neighborhoods in all of South America, actually. Many of the old buildings here were part of the rubber boom that happened about 120 years ago, give or take a little. They made millions and millions and millions of dollars off of the rubber trade, but it only lasted a few years until seeds were smuggled out. I think that used to be the prison and now it's a military office. This building right across from me is interesting because look at the cannonballs up on the top. Later on this afternoon, that little football field down there will be really active and there'll probably be games going on the entire day. In fact, I'm kind of surprised they're not out there now, but I guess people are sleeping in still. All of that greenery on the other side of the houses, of which the far houses, by the way, are on stilts. The water comes up almost to where I am. I'm sorry, at least just below. And that'll all be underwater, or at least most of it will when the water is at its highest. It's sad, but the interior of this old building burned down several years ago because it's awfully pretty and awfully big. It was almost certainly a warehouse for one of the rubber companies. Far off in the distance you can see Lower Belen, which is also flooded for quite a few months of the year. It's really dangerous, lots of crime and lots of poor people. As I get closer to the main plaza, it becomes a lot busier. A few tourists walking around and definitely a lot safer. The problem now is the drug addicts which just spend the night here. They crash on the other side of the wall in the grass. They can be really unpredictable. I've had them come and just grab into my pocket trying to steal whatever's there. I always feel a little uncomfortable filming here, but this old building, built in, I think 1908, according to the sign on the wall, is now a military headquarters. At one time it was a hotel. Obviously a really, really nice hotel in Iquitos. This section of the Malecón here is extremely popular. It's generally full on the weekends, like last night. People come here by the hundreds. There's entertainment. People are here with their families till late. It's just a nice place to come and pretty safe, but you do have to be careful of pickpockets. Normally the water's so high here that there are boats just a few feet down below. I've even seen people skiing out there. I'm not joking. Water skiing. There used to be a guy who lived up there that sounded like his brain had been fried long, long ago. You'd hear him just screaming out horrible profanities and the craziest stuff I think I've ever heard. Obviously, drugs had gotten to him. There used to be a few shops down there, a little market, but it's been gone for maybe a year and a half now. I don't know what happened, but probably they were working illegally and maybe the city wanted to clean it up, which obviously they didn't do. Those people who were working down there were seemingly honest and did some good with that area, which is pretty ugly and marked up with graffiti now. Can you imagine the Amazon River flowing through there? You can see where it came from the far side all the way up to the just below me. It was a massive river here, maybe a kilometer and a half across. You can't see it from here, but if I took a drone up a little higher, you'd be able to. The river changed course about 30 years ago and is now maybe 5 kilometers to the south and to the east. This old building is one of, if not my favorite, but now it's a school. A lot of it appears to be in disuse, but it's still a beautiful building. Just in the last, maybe 6 months, the city finished up this street called Calle Raimondi. They put a lot into the renovations, but apparently they didn't put much into supporting the businesses, because there's almost nothing here and it's pretty dead. I've never stayed there, but the Hotel Casa Muray has a really good reputation, and I don't think it's very expensive either. I've looked at some prices before online. It doesn't look terrible, but it's only 3 blocks from the main Plaza de Armas. Just across from Casa Muray is the Historic Boat Museum, which is definitely worth a visit. Also has air conditioning, which works really, really well, but it's a really cool old rubber boat from late 1800s, early 1900s. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little walk. I'm going to make my way back to my hotel where there's air conditioning, because it is brutally hot and I'm just not used to it. So I got to decide where I'm going to go later on today before I leave early in the morning to go home. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like it and feel free to subscribe and come back and see the rest of them. So I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.